Hey everyone, how's it going? So now that we've covered the basics of Node.js and NPM, what we're going to do is move on to our actual project now. So up until now we've been using this My First App, this like test project that we've been using. So we're not going to use this anymore. We're going to go and create a brand new folder that we'll use for our project. So obviously we could amend this. We could just go to package.json and change some of the details in here to reflect our project. But what we want to do is run you through creating a brand new project again. I think it would act as a good summary of all the things we've covered in the last few videos. So we're going to close this down and we're going to start from scratch on a brand new repository, okay? Like I said, it'll be a great refresher for how to create a Node project from scratch because we've covered a lot of things in the last few videos. So what I'm going to do is open up a new instance of my text editor. So go to Visual Studio Code in my case, and then click New Window, and then open up a brand new Visual Studio Code instance right here. So it's an empty instance, no project selected. And what I'm going to do is click File and then Open like this. So File, Open, and then we'll go ahead and find the folder I want to open. Now, of course, we don't have a folder yet, so what I'm going to do is click New Folder and just create a new folder here, and I'll just call this Twitter clone. Alright, so I've created a new Twitter clone folder in my web development folder, but you can obviously save this wherever you want. So here we go, brand new Twitter clone folder, click open, and all it's done is it's opened this Twitter clone folder, which of course has nothing in it because it's brand new. So that any files I create in this folder will show right here. And VS Code has actually added this VS Code folder right here, but it's a hidden one, so don't worry about this. This is just something that VS Code uses for whatever reason, but just ignore it. Great, so what we'll do now is initialize this as an npm repository, which is that npm init command we ran before. So you can either open it from terminal, by cding into your folder, wherever you've saved this Twitter clone folder to, you can cd into all the folders and then run it from there. But if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can just run the terminal. So if I go to terminal at the top here, and then new terminal, you see it opens a terminal down here, and I can just type npm init like this, okay? Because when it opens a terminal, it opens it in the folder it's currently in, which is this Twitter clone one. Okay, so this is something we covered in the previous videos, so we'll just move through it quite quickly. Remember, anything in parentheses right here is the value it will use if you don't specify anything. So I'll press enter, which means it will use Twitter clone. I'll press enter again, it will use 1.0.0. I don't need a description, but feel free to add one. Entry point, we're not going to use index.js. Let's change that and just write app.js. So we're specifying a new entry point. Test command, ignore that, just press enter. Git repository, again, I don't have one for this, so press enter. Keywords, it doesn't matter, that's how people find this. Author, feel free to write your name in there if you want, or just ignore it. License, ISC, don't really care about that, so just press enter. Is this okay? Press enter for yes. So what it's done, just to cover this again, it just created this package.json file, which kind of describes your package, because that is what this is. It's a package now. Okay, now just like we did before, we're going to go and add a start command to this scripts node. So underneath this test part right here, put a comma there, and then on the new line, we're going to write start like this. And in there, just like we did before, we're going to say node and then app.js. Now, last time we used myapp.js because that's what we called it last time, but now we're going to use app.js. So what this means is when we run npm start, it will actually run node app.js. And like I said before, we're doing this because it's kind of accepted and understood that when someone takes your package, they'll be able to start it using npm start. It's just something people do. Okay, great. So I've already explained all this before in previous videos, but if any of that didn't make sense, feel free to let me know and I can try and explain it to you a little bit more. And then the last thing we're going to do is create a git ignore folder. Now, if you're not planning on using git for this, just ignore this completely. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to set this up as a git repository by saying git init. So now it's a git repository on this computer. Again, don't do this if you're not using git. And then what I'll do is tell it to ignore the node modules folder by creating a new file here, and then just call this .git ignore. This is a hidden file, and all we'll put in there is node underscore modules slash star, which means anything inside the node modules folder will be ignored. Now, we don't have a node modules folder at the moment, but when we run npm install, it would usually go to this package JSON, look at our dependencies, and then add them in a node modules folder. But because we haven't installed any dependencies yet, which means we haven't installed any packages, there's nothing to show, so there's no node modules folder. But just know that when we install some packages very shortly, we will see a node modules folder, and gitignore has told it to ignore anything inside that folder from git commits. Okay, and that is it. You'll notice when we ran that npm install, we got this package lock.json, but don't worry about that. You don't have to concern yourself with that. So that's it. We have a project set up, initialized as an npm repository, and we're ready to go now.